Good morning, all. My name is Suman Nellori. I spent a lot of time, mainly 18 years in Chrysler, which is an automotive company, Chrysler Fiat. Personally, in my journey, what I've learned is the choices you make will have a significant impact on the future. We always come at a fork and we have to make a choice. Those choices that we make always define who we are, and also the future unfolds in the journey. And it's very critical you make the right choices. And sometimes looking back in my life, there were some critical junctures where I've chosen, I look back and say, okay, if I had done that, my life would have been different. One example is 20 years back, going for an engineering college in Hyderabad. By the way, I'm from Hyderabad, born and brought up. I went to St. Patrick's School. Also did my engineering in JNTU Hyderabad. After intermediate, you only had, like Prakash was mentioning, you only had major choices, whether to go for medicine or whether to go for engineering. And even if you decide to go for engineering, there were not many colleges in Hyderabad 20 years back. There was Usmania University and there was JNTU. The first attempt I did not get through. Many of my friends at that time, the choice was to go to Bangalore or Gulbarga, where you would pay a donation. My father would have required to pay a donation, and you would go and finish your engineering there. But at that moment, even though many of my friends chose to go there, for some reason I felt that I didn't give my best effort. So I told my father, even though my father was willing to invest the money, I told my father, let me give it one more try. Because I didn't give my best effort last time, let me give it one more try. If I don't get through, then I'll take your help. I think that decision at that point, looking back 20 years, made a significant impact in my future, because if I had gone to Gulbarga, maybe my life would have been different. The choice of, okay, let me give it another try and give my best shot for a year, got me into JNTU, and I got into a good circle of friends, chose to go to the US and study, helped my career path, and my personal life was much better. So that's why I tell you, it's always the decisions we make our future will unfold. The difference I've studied in India, and I've seen my kids study in the US. In India, what happens is, take an example of volcano. There is a chapter on volcano. In India, what happens is there's 2 pages of text, and you're asked to study those 2 pages, and there are questions at the back, and all you need the answers to those questions. Even the teacher will tell you, even if you write something better, the teacher will say, no, it's wrong. The answer is in the book, and that's the right answer. So you're not allowed to think outside the box. And you're forced to become more clerical minded. It's in the book, you study the book, and there's a tendency to go after percentages, 90%, 95%. The kid got 98%, why didn't you get 99%? As long as you know those 2 pages, that's all you need to know, and that's the kid, by nature, you become more clerical. Whereas I've seen my kids, same in the US, same volcano, what the US education system doesn't tell you, okay, these are the only 2 pages you need to study. It allows the kids to open up. It will allow them, they'll tell you to go, it's up to the kid. The kid can come back and say, this is all I know, or the kid can create a project with their own imagination, create a volcano, come to the classroom and display. So it allows the kids to think more out of the box. So kids who want to stretch themselves have the opportunity to stretch themselves. So that's how the education system grows them. And in a way, if you think about it, a lot of the innovative leaders have come from the US. Let's take Walt Disney or Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all these leaders, and there are many examples. I think that education system creates more of the innovative leaders who create a path for the future. So now coming back to engineering or the bachelor's or master's, which you're all here for, in my personal experience, what I feel is, in engineering here, my 4 years was already defined. You have the subjects that you're required to take in the first year. These are the subjects. You have to take those subjects. Whereas in the US, it's not like that. You choose which subjects you take. As you start understanding yourself, in my case, as I did my master's, I went there for mechanical engineering or industrial management. But as I kept taking subjects, I started realizing that I'm enjoying statistics. I'm enjoying that subject. So it allows me to take more subjects that I like, which in the long term helped me fine-tune myself in the direction that I know I am enjoying, I love, and my career became more towards statistics and quality. Quality involves a lot of statistics in manufacturing, and I really excelled in that, because I enjoyed doing what I did. Whereas in India, you're not really allowed to define yourself or understand yourself and what you like and choose your career path. So that's one. Like you had mentioned that you want to go for journalism. So as you start in the US, what happens is as you start taking your courses, the first semester, then you'll start understanding what you like or what you enjoy, and you are allowed to define your future because you start understanding yourself and what you enjoy. So that's the best education system that I have. My daughter went for, I just dropped her off in August in University of Washington. 2 years back, we were in a dilemma. She wanted to do medicine. Then there was a choice whether to do medicine here or whether to go for the US. After a lot of deliberation and a lot of talking to many people, the US path is 8 years long because the first 4 years, they don't tell, it's not medicine. You're asked to take, it's called pre-med. You're asked to take courses because I think they don't think you're mature enough to decide if you're going to be a good doctor at 18. So in the next 4 years, as she does her classes, she may decide, no, I don't think I like medicine. I may want to go research. Or she may say, no, this is what I enjoy. I'll want to become. So that US education system allows you to define yourself, because I feel that as long as you are in the field that you enjoy, you will always excel in your career. So please choose what you're going to enjoy. Don't just do like Prakash had said, just because the neighbor is doing it, I want to do it. Don't do that. You should always do what you will enjoy doing. And one thing, again, I'm going to say this, you're all here because you want to invest in yourself. That is the best investment you can make for yourself. The initiative that you have taken to spend some time here on a Sunday shows that you have the interest to invest in yourself. Invest wisely, meaning make the right choices, because like I said, life is all about choices. Our destiny unfolds according to the choices we make. So start discovering yourself. Going to the US or UK or any other educational system is a good idea. Culturally, for me, going from Hyderabad, I've learned that world is so huge. I have South Korean friends, I have friends from China, I have friends from Mexico, and even today I'm connected with so many global friends. It really makes you a little bit humble. You think I'm just a small, Hyderabad or India is just a small dot in the world, right? In Hyderabad, we all are in India. There's so much hoopla about this and that and small things. But when we have a global exposure, we really look back and think that these are all minor things. There are better things in life. The exposure is always good. Culturally today also, the other thing I'm going to tell you is companies like Microsoft or Amazon or major companies, when they want to hire leaders, okay, let me go back. The other thing that the US colleges, universities, especially for bachelors, look for is not just marks. Here, most of the universities is you get 100% or 98% you're in. In addition to marks is probably 50% weightage in the selection process. They look for leadership qualities in the student, especially for bachelors. So they ask you to write a lot of essays and define yourself, because the universities wants leaders in the field, not just somebody who gets, just because you got 98% or 100% doesn't mean that you're going to be a good leader. Even today, the companies like Microsoft or all these companies that have established in India, they bring expat people who have exposure globally and bring them here, rather than they've tried experimenting hiring students who have grown here, but for some reason they feel that they don't have that cultural understanding or the global exposure to handle the leadership, global leadership. So they bring in expats who have experience either in the US or Germany or other places. So that should tell you something. They have experimented with students who have studied or grown in India, but for some reason many companies feel that it's not been Cummins also, they've tried, they're not successful. So that tells you that the global exposure will give you an edge and will make you a better person globally. And like Prakash said, the world is flat. You can always after the exposure, you can always, if your interest is coming back to India and do what you want to do, it will always make you a better person, better leader, and more knowledgeable to handle your challenges in the future.